YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Stellaris, Strategy and Tactics. So, you remember my last video where I said clerks are terrible? I went on for quite a bit about exactly why they are terrible, how they are terrible, how you can prevent yourself, your economy from being slowed by them. Yeah, well, literally a day after that, they drop a patch on the beta, and clerks are no longer terrible. They have not been buffed, they've not been over buffed. I think they are right where they needed to be. I think the buff was a good one, but of course, in classic Paradox fashion, they drop a patch right after I make a video that kind of cornerstones on that. If anyone remembers back to my Serene Bastards playthrough. And the perk we chose was Executive Vigor. And then in the next day after I picked that, they nerfed it from 100% edict duration to 50.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, that's my thoughts. And the sudden nerfing of the one tradition that we were going after in that game. But I digress. Now, clerks are back on the table, and that means we can make use of them. Now, again, clerks are not something that you need to necessarily beeline or overemphasize in your empires now. But now that the base production has increased, you can actually get some meat out of the modifiers. Get some oomph, as you were. So, what I've done here is I've concocted a suggested race here. If we wanted to take... Let's make clerks and let's take them to their logical conclusion. So I've made a race that basically mounts as many bonuses as humanly possible onto the clerk and basically let them carry the Empire's economy. So here we've got the Salt table. They are a corporate dominion that gives us access to our first trade booster. The free traders gives us an extra 10% trade value, plus a little extra on our branch offices. The other one I went for here was Media Conglomerate, because the citizen pop happiness will increase stability. Stability increases trade output, so it indirectly helps you get more trade. Now, Fanatic Xenophile for that sweet 20% trade value, not to mention the available envoys. This buffing of the clerks certainly gave a buff to Xenophiles in general, because the envoys are certainly useful by themselves, but now the trade value modifier is useful as well. As far as the other one, a single tick of authoritarian. Clerks are workers. Authoritarians give all workers a +5 output, so even more clerk output, plus output for the rest of your workers. Now, I went with lithoids here, mainly so I could take the Lost Colony. The lithoids and Lost Colony is a really, really strong combo as far as an origin and a species type, because the main bad thing about Lost Colony, first off, it gives you a really huge buff on your homeworld, but your homeworld is not 100% habitable because you're technically a colonist. However, the lithoids' natural 50% habitability buff doesn't really care about that. It's 100% for lithoids, so they get all the upside, none of the downside. Now, as far as going back to buffing clerks, we've got Thrifty, of course. Of course we're going to take Thrifty. One interesting note about Thrifty versus the Ingenious, the one that buffs energy. Ingenious, let me go find an Ingenious one. Our rats were Ingenious, right? I believe they were. The Bureau rats, yeah. So the energy credits from jobs, both the Ingenious and the Thrifty cost you 2 trait points. Ingenious only gives you a 15% buff, whereas the Thrifty gives you 25% buff. Now, granted, the base production for a for a technician is still 6, so the 15 is bonusing itself off of a larger number compared to the now 4, which is now the base output for a clerk that you're getting out of Thrifty here. And actually, interestingly, the raw bonus, like if you measured the raw amount of extra stuff that you're getting in, extra energy from the technician and extra trade value from these, Thrifty actually is a little bit better. It actually gives you, it's 0.9 versus a 1.0 bonus for those jobs. So, I mean, it's not a huge difference. But if you're just going for raw energy, Thrifty on Clerks is actually not too bad. But you still, that does not, that's not to say that Ingenious is not a good one, because if you don't have a bunch of other things bonusing up Clerks, you may want to go with that if you want raw energy production rather than relating on trade value. Unruly, this is the dump stat. If you need 2 free trait points out of somewhere, grab that. I grabbed Nomadic here, just to sort of offset the lithoid thing. It has nothing to do with Clerks. Wasteful, because we are authoritarian and we've got stratified economy, the wastefulness doesn't impact you as much. And then last but not least, I grabbed, just to further drive home we make our clerks as good as possible, Charismatic for amenities, which Clerks also produce. Now, granted, Clerks still only produce 2 amenities, so it's not that huge. But, I mean, Charismatic boosts all amenity-producing jobs worked by this race, so it's still pretty good. So that is my suggested race. Want to see it in action? Let's take a look. Okay, here we are. We're at 23 years into the game here. We've got ourselves an appreciable amount of territory in quite a few sectors. One of the other reasons I went with a lithoid for this race is that we can colonize just about anywhere, regardless of the world type. And at worst, it'll be a 70% habitable world, which still ain't that bad, especially with our amenity bonuses. But our economy is singing right now. And right now, we've been running for this whole time. We've been running Marketplace of Ideas, which is sacrificing half of that energy for our for some unity. Now, what has that done for us? Well, we're only 23 years in. We've already finished off 2 entire trees. And the prosperity tree, by the way, really good one to get if you're going for the clerk thing, because this now gives you additional clerk jobs, extra housing out of this. The specialist pop is just, gravy on that. But the merchant job per 50 pops, those merchant jobs, the ruler class level jobs, which unfortunately we haven't grown large enough to get any of those yet. It'll be a while since we're lithoids here. But the merchant, the ruler class level jobs that you get will get further bonused by your thrifty traits and other trait boosting things here. So we're bringing in quite an appreciable amount here. I mean, we're making 142.63 energy from trade alone, and that's at half capacity. That's with half of my thing going to Unity here. We're making 104 Unity per month here, just from that. 71.31 from trade. So the amount of output is insane. The amount of output from an individual clerk is insane. If we take a look here, so amenities 2.4 and 5 trade value. Now that's the base. That doesn't count all of the empire modifiers that we got going here. And also I got lucky here in that my ruler is trade value plus 10 plus the import export, which is another trade value plus 5. Like, I got handed the absolute crazy good ruler for this for this particular race here. But yeah, the amount of output is crazy, and so you can absolutely build an entire economy off of the back of this. So yeah, that is Clerks are good. I've actually unlisted my old video, my old Clerks are terrible video, so I don't mislead people. But I have a link to it in the comments or in the description below, just in case you want to see my fail. If you want to see the egg on my face, it'll be there for you. So I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!